Well, here I am again. Now I'm right, I don't know, 3 kilometres up the other end of the old Billy railway line. I mean, it goes way off into the distance there. I swing round. I mean, it goes 3.7 kilometres down that way. Well, 4.2 kilometres says on there. And when you go down here, this is where the oyster beds used to be in the 1800s. Never been in this area before. There is some nice places I found around here where you could bring a camper van for the night as well. Yeah, smallish van. But I don't know whether they have, because it's a nature reserve, I don't really know whether they have sort of wardens patrolling it. I would imagine so, but I've not seen any sight or anything like that. And from this point here, oh, there's a sign about it. The Hale & Billy line and the old oyster beds. Apparently the oysters were grown here from seed in the 1800s and moved on to Kent. That's the area from the sky. So the old railway line went behind me, where you used to transport all this stuff, all the oysters. I suppose they went off into Havant, which is up that way. But there you go, they start sort of all these square depressions. These used to be the oyster beds, and they go off up round there, all off round the corner. And when you get to the corner, there is hundreds of thousands of birds. And what I'll do, I don't know whether to keep this going or pause it. Keep it going for a little bit longer. They can pick up any sounds of any birds at the moment. But I've walked bloody miles. Some really nice places I found around this corner where you could park up. But it's just whether somebody would come along and say, oh, you shouldn't be here. But there's no signs anywhere saying private, keep out. The old oyster beds. The only thing is, parking round the back this way, these birds, I don't know whether they'd squawk all night, but they definitely would till quite late and first thing in the morning. But when you get up round here, you get a lot of these areas, grassed areas, off to the side, which you could pull a couple of vans in easy. Right, I'm just going to pause that there and carry on further along. So occasionally you get these signs in the sea saying no landing, roosting birds. But on the land it doesn't say anything else. Gone to another nice area just up round this corner. Sort of grassed area which you can pull in on. There's quite a few like this. They're all around and they get bigger and bigger as you go around. Say you have to come down the old railway line And then you come to these areas where you could put a van to camp for the night. There's a huge big oyster bed there. What remains of it still standing from a couple of 100 years ago. Just pause that again. Again, I'm on the next bend. There's a lovely big flat grassed parking area here. But you can probably hear it's getting noisier and noisier. But when I finish, I'll put my 3 words to the main small car park to this place, and people can work out for themselves if they want to park up here for the night. Here's the main area which they formed out of the ruins from the oyster beds. It's a nature reserve now and all the birds nest. I would imagine this would absolutely do your head in first thing in the morning. This is how I found this place. I came up this little side road. It came off the main track from the Billy line. I came down here to the start of this nature reserve. They've got all these slate paintings of what's out there. Sandwich tern, black-headed gull, common tern, oyster catchers, little tern, and a ringed plover. I say, it's bloody noisy. I imagine it gets even worse first thing in the morning. Would absolutely do your nut. Walking back through this way, which takes you to the main railway track. I mean, I wouldn't mind parking up through here. There's loads of rabbits around here as well. There's bloody rabbits everywhere. They're in the track, in the grass. If you sat here long enough, they just walk all around your feet, I would imagine. See, I'd come along here. You could park on these side bits. Park just on the edges of this place. I mean, there's no other traffic would come up here. Little rabbit sat there. And I'll walk down this bit. I mean, you could park anywhere here, really. You're not going to be in anybody's way. You're not going to be disturbing the wildlife if you stayed down this bit. There's a nice little grassed area in there through those trees, but you can't really see it. And this is the old railway line again. And when I started, I was way up there, kilometre up that way or so, but I walked round and don't know how far down there I've got to go. That's where the vans are. I'll pause it for a minute, but you can, I mean, it's easy. Even if it was wet, you could drive a vehicle through here because it's all hard road. There's no mud or anything. So I'll be back in a minute. Well, I'm another kilometre down the track. Back is fucking killing me now. Right down the bottom there's a gate with the white board on. Well, it's hanging off the gate. It's not really locked or anything. That's where the vans are parked. And I've came from up there, way up in the distance, 3 times more. So I'm going to carry on walking, and I'll start again when I get down to the entrance. Well, here we are again, back down to the car park. There's where our vans are parked at the moment. And up the track there, goes on forever. Says there, Hailing Bridge 1.6 kilometres, restored signal 1.1 kilometres. It seems a hell of a lot further than that. And down that way, Station Road, West Town, 3.6 kilometres. If you go through that wooden gate there, and the track carries on exactly like this is here. Another van here. It's old bearded burbler. And that's what it looks like directly in front of us. I don't think that's old oyster beds out there, it's just where the tide's gone out. But I was way up there around the corner. How fast is beeping his fucking horn now. I went round that point there, but it just kept going on and on and on. There she is there, look. Oh, Bigfoot. And here he is, look.
Here he is, and H.
Harry and the Hendersons.
Harry, no, that's my mate. That's who's got my garage, Harry Henderson.
Anyway, thank you, Mother, for the rabbits. Bob's your teapot, yibbity yibbida, and that's all, folks.